You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
Oh yeah, baby, that's lovely.
We now wander off the beaten path with an update from the Reefer Reporter.
Hello and welcome to the Reefer Reporters. It's October the 24th and we are live here at the Legacy420.com news desk on the Pace Network's YouTube channel, Twitter, as well as our Facebook pages. Good morning, Rev Kelly. How are we doing today?
Good morning, Croptober, Pottober. Oh, it's a beautiful Monday morning after a beautiful sunny weekend that we had. Did you have a beautiful sunny weekend where you were?
Oh, yeah. Well, you can look behind me. Look at the sun coming in the window there.
Yeah. We're really blessed right now with this weather. It's amazing.
Yes. Oh, it's very, very, very nice. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, it was nice to see it over the weekend.
Yeah. We had a paint and puff outside. We were actually at a retailer and we were supposed to be inside painting and puffing. We were outside the whole time under the sun, and there were rainbows in the sky. It was an incredible day, really.
Excellent. Yeah, it was like over 20 degrees.
Yeah.
So, which is, it's let's hope it's not the last of it.
Right. And anybody that's watching and listening from a different place that didn't have that, we'll send it to you next.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Puff and Paint went well then?
It went really well. It was a nice cannabis tourism event. The retailer was really happy and the people were really happy, and it was a really nice day, really special.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, it's a time for everybody to get together and like-minded minds.
Smoke outside. Like that, because we're outside, we're away from entrances, we're fully legal, we're hanging out on picnic tables, and everybody is consuming cannabis openly together while they're creating art. And you don't do that much anymore, especially with the pandemic and the regulations and stuff. So cool to be able to do that now. It felt like a bunch of hippies.
Yeah, creativity has been boosted at that time.
Exactly. Elevated.
Elevated, that's the word.
Yeah.
All right, talking about the word, we will say we get on with the news.
Yeah.
All right, first up, we got Canadian cannabis sales in August shows slowest annual growth to date according to New Cannabis Ventures.
That's right. Statistics Canada has released August retail sales for the country, with cannabis sales increasing from July by just 0.2% to just over $393 million. July was revised from $394 million to $292 million. Now, the sales were up 13% from a year ago, down from the 17% July growth rate. The growth was the lowest since legalization has began.
Oh, yeah, you can see there's the graph, eh?
Yeah.
And an increase in the number of stores as well as falling flower prices that bring consumers from the illicit market have been boosting sales. In Ontario, the largest province in population, sales were down 2.2% from July and up 15% from a year ago, reflecting the increase in the number of stores. Alberta, which is the second largest province, was down 2.9% from July and up 11% from a year ago. Quebec was up 1.9% from July and down 2% from a year ago, while British Columbia was up 10% from July as it advanced 27% from a year ago.
Wow.
There's some more numbers.
No numbers and data from all over the country. Now, Hi-Fi IQ had forecast August sales of $392 million based upon its data. Now, the data and analytics provider has been estimating September sales to be 4.6% lower, which would be 4.9% below the actual level and up 7.7% from a year ago. Now, that's based on the data that Hellfire estimates non-flower sales are 28.9% in August and 28% in September.
More charts. More charts. Pre-rolls.
The big chunk being flower.
Yep. The September data they say will be released in November. So there you go, some numbers.
Wow. Interesting. Still flowers dominant there.
Yeah, and
Pre-rolls are climbing up though. They really
I
are.
seen the
That's what I hear
report.
people buying the most is pre-rolls.
Yeah, I seen a report this morning that was saying that pre-rolls that have a concentrate in them, such as hash or
Yeah.
oil or rosin or whatever,
Yeah.
in them is taking off
They're so yummy.
now.
They're
Unfortunately,
so
I know
yummy.
like I bought a pack, I don't know, a few months ago, and got my 3 little weed joints and stuff.
Yeah. The little
I
A.
asked
With
them
the
what
little.
cannabis was inside it, and they didn't know. So
Oh.
it just said
That's
premium cannabis. That's all the literature said. It was premium cannabis. So I asked at the counter, "What kind of cannabis is in there?" And they said premium. I said,
premium.
"Well, what is it?"
Okay.
"Well, it doesn't tell us."
Oh boy. Well,
Yeah,
some companies are a little bit better. I
I
tried
would
some
I would imagine that
hash
was just the
joints.
one experience, and there's lots out there. So
Yeah, some of them
yeah.
said. Some of them.
Alrighty. On to our next story. This one comes to us from CBC. It says, why a P.E.I. cannabis company says it's losing money in an industry-wide trend.
Oh. Touring around Fire's massive production facility in Charlottetown, it made it easier to assume that the PEI owned cannabis company is thriving.
Everywhere you turn, employees are busy filling bags and cartridges with cannabis flowers and oil, or loading products into boxes that will wind up in stores right across the country. But as busy as the company and its 130 employees are, and as solid as sales have been, the CEO says it's hardly translating into a profit.
Quoted as saying, if you look across the industry, I don't know that you'll find a licensed producer reporting a profit at this point. And as a local company competing in the industry, we're certainly not immune to that either. Now, that's the CEO, Alex Smith, also saying that the industry is not viable right now for licensed producers.
Smith says the biggest issue is the excise tax imposed on cannabis producers. For every gram of cannabis they sell to distributors, they owe the government $1 or 10% of the price per gram, whatever is greater.
No matter what it's
Yeah,
sold
so
at,
obviously it must be the dollar because the price of gram isn't
no
over
matter
10
what.
bucks.
That's right, no matter what. So if they sell it for $3 or $4, this was based on the $10 when the
Yeah,
excise tax when it was first came out. It was based on $10. We gave $1 of the 10, but now they're selling it for so much less, and they're not making anything.
correct.
Since it became legal 4 years ago, he's saying producers across Canada have had to lower their prices to compete with illegal growers and sellers who don't face the same overhead costs or taxes.
And when cannabis products first hit shelves, many licensed producers started selling their products for $7 or $8 per gram. Now most are selling them for $4 or less per gram, and $1 of that is lost in the excise tax.
Right away, right away.
Right away, yeah.
So what that result is in is that the tax is 25 to 35% of our revenues, which is restrictive, he says. If you look at any business giving up 25 to 35% of revenues, it's simply not a sustainable business model.
No, no.
No.
Adding to the challenge, the rising costs of just about everything else except for the cannabis. It's kind of a double whammy. Our costs are going up, but we can't simply raise our prices, or consumers will go to that unregulated and potentially unsafe market and return to those channels. So
Wow.
you're looking at people going back, right?
Yeah. And that's something that really needs to come up in this review of the Cannabis Act is this excise tax. It should be the number one thing that comes up.
Mhm.
Now, they're all issues the Cannabis Council of Canada has been raising in Ottawa this past week with members of Parliament and federal officials. The Council's president, George Smitherman, said many cannabis businesses across the country are on the brink of closure.
His council's calling on the federal government to streamline a review of the Cannabis Act, including the excise tax. In the meantime, it wants Ottawa to drop a separate 2.3% regulatory tax that producers have to pay.
He says We're saying to government, back off a little in the short term, and collectively we can grow the pie together. Otherwise, we can run the risk, especially in a lot of the parts of rural Canada where cannabis has been associated with economic renewal, of seeing some setbacks. We don't want that to happen.
Well, Figer's CEO says the company has avoided laying off any employees. It has started eliminating some positions as people have left. So it's through nutrition, right? In fact, over the past 2 years, staffing numbers at the company have dropped from 160 to 130. So 130 people have left. They haven't had to lay anybody off, but people have left and they haven't refilled those positions. So they are lost jobs.
Of course they are. Now he says, we've had to make very difficult decisions, temper our growth, reduce headcount over time just to remain competitive in this space. About a year ago, a group of local investors took over the company, and Smith said they're determined to turn it into a profitable business.
Yeah, we have a team to produce something very special on the island. We just need the support from the government to do that. No one from Axley, Charlottetown, another P.E.I. cannabis processor, would do an interview, but the publicly traded company continues to record financial losses.
CBC News has spoken to 5 former Oxley employees who all say they and several others were recently laid off. So that's contrary to what they're saying previously.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Well.
Wow. And so that's just something that needs to be conversation about this. Now, I know you dissected that Cannabis Act recently, and was that a conversation that you were having too? This excise tax, some changes that needed to be made.
Well, I'm seeing that in the legal end of things, where the companies more and more often are. I'm hearing that all the time.
Okay.
Is the excise tax was a big problem. Now that's coming with 2.3 regulatory fee on top of that. But I can see where if a company is only selling a gram for $3 or $4 and $1 goes to the government right off the bat.
What are they going to do?
It's that or greater thing,
right?
If it had remained, if they went left to 10%, then that's one thing,
right?
But when they say 10% or the greater value,
yep,
then
yeah, I know.
Yeah, well, let's see what happens.
A little bit of a mess. Grow your own at home.
Grow your own. That's right. Okay, you ready for the next one?
All ready.
All right, this one's got from the Newswire. It says Ace Valley celebrates sex positivity with debut of Lust and Thrust cannabis infused gummies.
I just love this packaging because it looks like it's condoms, so it's sort of synergy with the whole sex positive piece. It's wonderful marketing.
Okay, yeah, there you are. You see
wonderful
the
marketing,
there.
Right?
Yeah.
A world-leading diversified cannabis and cannabinoid-based consumer product company today announced an extension of its Ace Valley brand portfolio with the launch of Lust Cherry Rose and Thrust Watermelon Goji. These 2 new distinctly flavored gummies are the first of its kind in the Canadian market, celebrating the intersection of cannabis and sex positivity by empowering consumers to enhance their personal experiences.
In an online survey, 75% of participants said they use cannabis to enhance sex, and 42% of participants said they already use cannabis to connect with their partner. The flavors of Lust and Thrust aim to enhance both solo and partnered play via deliciously bite-sized gummies and aspire to make good sex greater.
Wonderful, wonderful. Ace Valley Lust Cherry Rose Gummies features a juicy flavor, botanical extracts, and are infused with 25 milligrams of CBD and 2.5 milligrams of THC per gummy. It's a sweet and delicate taste of cherry and rose blossoms, and each gummy also features a cool tingle on your tongue, activating your senses.
Ace Valley Thrust Watermelon Goji gummies are infused with 5 milligrams of THC per gummy, each with a burst of watermelon and tickle of goji berry flavor, along with a hint of naturally occurring caffeine.
Yeah. Isn't that neat, Al?
Huh?
Isn't this neat that they've created these products?
I obviously this is being released here now, but I don't know what I see the difference between this gummies and another gummy that's already out on the market.
Well, I think what they're doing here is they're explaining that you can elevate your sex life with cannabis. They're showing that through these products, which is a really it's a beautiful thing to be able to say, "Hey, let's use cannabis for this now." And that's why I think this is such a great product, because now people in the market that would maybe not want to try it, or try to go to a chemical to help with their sex life, can now choose something in a legal regulated market that's going to help them enhance their sex life, and it's cannabis.
And
That's
it's
such a
cannabis.
win.
There you go.
It is such a win, right?
Yeah, it's a win-win.
And they're quoted as saying, Ace Valley celebrates sex positivity, including those who are already combining cannabis and sex, as well as those who are curious about it. That comes from their vice president, Tara Rizlovsky. She says that Lust and Thrust gummies were created with pleasure in mind, and both products are a natural extension of Ace Valley's innovative portfolio, which elevates experiences and empowers consumers to use cannabis their way on their terms.
Yeah, they say earlier this year they released the first ever CBN gummies in Canada.
Yeah.
And obviously that's for the nighttime end of
Mhm.
things. They said the introduction of Lust and Thrust further amplifies the brand's commitment to purposeful consumption and empowering the pleasures of the plant.
Yeah, it's brilliant. They're available all over, and I remember seeing they're big branding for that, big cardboard cutouts. Do you want to go to sleep? Try the CBN. And I thought, I didn't think that was allowed, actually, to be able to market that way. But I'm cheering for them, because it's connecting. It's getting that point across that, hey, cannabis is for these kinds of things as well. Why don't you try this?
This is not all about the stoner.
Right.
There's so many people
It's going to
just
help you sleep.
I got into a discussion with a guy on a local Facebook group who just thought the local town was complaining about the rise in some B&Es and some businesses, and someone goes, "Oh, that's all because the people are trying to get money for the dope stores."
Oh,
Oh yeah.
right
Oh
now, today, like right now,
yeah, yeah.
like this
This was
time of
over
year.
the
Oh,
weekend that I got in this discussion with this guy. Yeah. Oh, and I
wow.
wasn't the only one.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. I said one of the things I said to him. So the guy who robbed me 40 years ago, who held a gun to my head, was doing that for a dope store that wasn't even thought of then. Like, come on,
Right.
buddy.
Right. Right. Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
2022. Come on, you
exactly.
guys.
Yeah. All right, on to our next story before we go to break. And this says from Normal study long-term use of cannabis extracts safe and effective in dementia patients.
Yes. Coming from Switzerland, the administration of plant-derived extracts containing a 2-to-1 ratio of CBD to THC is associated with behavioral improvements and few adverse side effects in dementia patients. That's according to data published in the journal Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience.
A team of Swiss researchers assessed the long-term safety and efficacy of the adjunctive use of cannabis extracts in a cohort of dementia patients, which mean age is 81, so average is 81 years of age. Participants received an average of 12 milligrams of THC and 28 milligrams of CBD per day for up to 13 months. Now, Kelly, do you think that they gave that to them a little bit at a time? Like, I'm just sort of thinking about how, here in Canada, our limit's at 10 milligrams of
Right.
THC.
Right.
Is this, if they give it all to them at once, would it be like getting them stoned?
I
Really
think. I
higher?
think. Yeah. That's a very good point. It would be very interesting to know that hopefully they would start slow
Yeah,
and,
hopefully.
and grow them up to that 12%, right? The 12 milligrams.
Yeah, go ahead.
The investigators reported marked improvements in patients' symptoms over the course of the trial, included reduced agitation.
Mhm.
Now, they reported no problems related to treatment and limited adverse drug reactions. That's good news.
That's all good news. Exactly. They concluded a long-term THC CBD, a 1-to-2 ratio medication can be administered safely and with overall positive clinical improvement to polymedicated older adults with severe dementia and associated problems.
Okay. The study's results are similar to those recently reported in a placebo-controlled trial, which determined that the sublingual administration of CBD dominant plant extracts reduced agitation and improved sleep in dementia patients.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Good news.
Good news. Because people with dementia,
Yeah.
they can, get, aggressive,
Yeah.
agitated, all that stuff. So
Frustrated. It's got to be
yeah,
so scary. It's got to be terrifying. And it's not their fault that that happens. So
no,
why not offer them some comfort? Why not offer them some therapy that's plant-based that can help with that?
they can help them, and maybe enjoy a chewable.
Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, it's break time. Time for Rev Kelly and I to medicate. We'll be right back after that session. You're watching or listening to the Reefer Reporters. We're live here on the Pace Radio Network. We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.
Who has huge buds? You do. If you shop at BMA Hydroponics, attend one of BMA's educational seminars and learn the secrets of growing, harvesting, processing, and consuming quality cannabis and cannabis products. Learn how to make better extracts, edibles, and medicinal creams at prices you can afford. Visit BMA Hydroponics at 404 Maitland Drive, Belleville, or call 613-967-9888.
The only way to go.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Pace Radio is the people advocating cannabis education radio network.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
Did you know that the Pace Radio Network isn't just a radio network? That's right, because most, but not all of our programming is now done via video and is then podcasted at paceradio.net. So if you want to watch our programming, you'll find us on the Pace Radio Network's Facebook page, plus the show's own page, and you'll find us live on the network's YouTube channel. And don't forget, you can find it all, video and audio, at paceradio.net. You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net. Hey, we're back from a medication session, and we are the Reefer Reporters, and we're live here on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Kelly, we got 4 more stories to cover, including our Mushie Moment.
Yes.
All right, up next, this is a sad story. It's one that I'm sure we both don't understand.
No.
And this comes to us from CTV News, and it says a child dies after eating a THC gummies, and a Virginia mother charged with felony murder.
A Virginia mother has been charged with felony murder and felony child neglect in the death of her 4-year-old son, who authorities believe ate a large amount of THC gummies.
Detectives arrested Dorothy Annette Clements on Wednesday, and she is being held without bond. The Spotsylvania County Sheriff's Office said in a statement posted on Facebook that felony murder is the accidental killing of a person in the commission of a certain felonies. Court records didn't list an attorney for Clements.
So Clemens' son Tanner was found unresponsive on May 6th and was taken to hospital where he died 2 days later. That's from the news outlet.
Clements told police that only one gummy containing CBD which does not cause a high, was left when her son accessed the jar. When she told the poison controller the boy ate part of a gummy, she was assured that he'd be okay, according to court documents. But the documents show that when police seized the empty jar, they learned that the gummies contained THC, the compound that gives cannabis the high, and it didn't have CBD in it.
So, toxicology results showed that the child had extremely high levels of THC in his system. Documents state now that the detective wrote that the attending doctor reported that if the boy had received medical attention shortly after eating the gummies, his death could have been prevented.
Tanner Clement's death was ruled accidental, and the cause of death was Delta 8 THC intoxicity, according to the Office of Chief Medical Examiner, Central District, the administrator, Lakeisha Johnson. So Kelly wasn't even whole plant material. It wasn't.
No. So this sort of, it's interesting how this takes a little bit of twist here, because there seems to be responsibility going back to perhaps where she purchased it from. We'll have to see.
Well, yeah, it sounds like it's been mislabeled as well.
So she says before she was charged, the mother told the TV station that she thought she had bought CBD gummies from a Fredericksburg store, and she had no idea that what she bought actually contained THC. She said that the boy suffered a cardiac episode and reported that it was determined her son had become odd with his heart.
Well, some states have banned such products. Others have worked to set limits on them. And Virginia lawmakers grappled during this year's legislative session with how to regulate products with THC, aiming in particular to rein in the sales of items with Delta 8. But they failed to reach a consensus, and amid fierce pushback from hemp industry, a state task force has been meeting to consider options for next year's session.
There's so many layers here. The Food and Drug Administration warned last year that products containing Delta 8 THC have not been evaluated or approved by the FDA for sale use in any context. From December 2020 and February 2022, the agency said it received 104 reports of adverse events involving products containing Delta 8 THC. National Poison Control Centers received 2,362 cases of exposure to such products during the same period, including one pediatric case coded with an outcome of death, according to the FDA. This could have been avoided, Al.
This could have been avoided for sure. Could have been avoided.
So it says they couldn't come to a consensus amid fierce pushback from the hemp industry. This unregulated substance, the Delta 8 THC, unregulated, and already a pediatric death reported. Virginia lawmakers not coming through. They're not making a consensus. This could have been avoided. This is going to go on. This is going to be a huge case. And Virginia, when they were already on the fence with their laws and the difficulties in that part of the United States of America, this is going to have a huge ripple effect on what's happening with regulation down there and legalization.
Yeah, because as soon as you start listing deaths, especially of children, that's gonna change the way that they look at that particular product, Delta 8.
The mother thinking that stating, we don't know yet. We'll find out if it was, thinking it was THC or CBD over THC. But there was a key point where it was stated that if she had called for help earlier on, this could have been avoided. And it stated that his death could have been avoided. So she panicked. He got into her gummies. The gummies look like, obviously, something that he would have.
Was the package properly as well?
I don't know. We're going to find out.
Yeah.
What an awful thing to happen.
Yeah. And it's only part of a gummy. You didn't even eat a whole gummy.
According to what she said that was her
Yeah.
statement, but then there was a contrary statement from the doctor that said there was high amounts of THC.
You'd see it.
And I think when
And the
your
cardiac,
little heart goes so fast and you're thinking, you're greening out. Like, think about, I've greened out before. I've overconsumed and my heart is beating a mile a minute,
it does. Yeah, it can
right?
affect, yeah.
So the little 4-year-old, and if not just half a gummy is going to make your heart beat that fast, you're going to need a lot more than that for it to beat that fast that it would go into cardiac arrest. And that's what happened.
I would just like, it was the same thing with vaping. When they were talking about the vaping of cannabis was a cause in this popcorn lung.
Right.
In this situation, they say THC. I wish they would include that it was Delta 8 THC in that headline instead of just saying THC, because people get the impression that it's Delta 9 THC.
Right. Very important to say that. Thank you for saying that. Very important to say that. But we'll watch this, and there definitely needs to be some regulations around Delta 8. Definitely.
See what happens down the road for sure. All right, on to our next story. Headline from Forbes says that cannabis can help manage menopause, according to what a study suggests.
Around 1.3 million women experience menopause in the United States each year. Although menopause begins between 51 and 52 years old, about 5% of women experience early menopause between 40 and 45 years old, while 1% experience premature menopause before the age of 40.
The most significant symptoms of menopause are hot flashes, sleep problems, low libido, and mood changes. There are different treatments to manage menopause, including hormonal and non-hormonal therapies. Furthermore, lifestyle changes such as eating well, exercising, and looking after mental well-being can help with symptoms during menopause.
But as cannabis has become legally available due to its regulation in many U.S. states for both medical and recreational purposes, some women are consuming it to successfully manage menopause, a recent study has recently shown.
Researchers from the McLean Hospital Imaging Center and Department of Psychiatry and Harvard Medical School in Boston conducted a survey study recently published in Menopause, the Journal of the North American Menopause Society, to find out how the use of cannabis affects women with menopause-related symptoms.
Results suggest that numerous women currently use cannabis as an adjunctive treatment for menopause-related symptoms, especially to treat sleep disorders, mood and anxiety, and low libido.
According to the study, cannabinoid treatment can help manage menopause symptoms as the endocannabinoid system involves various psychological and physiological processes such as regulating body temperature, mood, anxiety, and sleep.
In particular, the authors of this study think that cannabis compounds could interact with anandamide, a chemical compound produced by the ovaries whose production drops during menopause.
Anandamide is part of the endocannabinoid system, which regulates the human body's emotional, sleeping, and temperature functions and influences the female reproductive system. Therefore, the interaction between cannabis compounds and anandamide, which levels are thought to be corroborated with estrogen levels, might mitigate the trigger of the symptoms during the menopause transition.
Now, the authors of the survey study recruited premenopausal and postmenopausal participants on social media platforms between March 2020 and April 2021. Premenopause is when the body makes the natural transition to menopause. Instead, postmenopause refers to when the individual hasn't experienced a period for over a year.
Participants completed self-report questionnaires reporting their medical conditions, medications, menopause-related symptoms, cannabis use in general, and cannabis use for menopause-related symptoms, and included their history of cannabis use.
Now, overall, the survey included 258 participants. Most participants were primarily white, non-Hispanic, middle-aged women who reported an annual income reflecting middle class status or above, completing an undergraduate degree or higher, were married or in a relationship, and were employed at least part-time.
Most participants reported at least one lifetime use of cannabis. That was 92% of them. In comparison, 83.5% of participants reported they used cannabis at least once a month, and 86% reported more frequent cannabis use. So the numbers didn't really drop.
Good numbers.
Yeah.
51.5% of participants reported using cannabis for both medical and recreational use. 30.8% reported using cannabis for recreational use only, and 17.7% for medical purposes only.
Yeah, most used methods to consume cannabis among those studies participants were smoking, edibles, and vaping. Of those who reported at least one lifetime use of cannabis, 78.7% reported using it to treat menopause symptoms, in particularly sleep disorder, anxiety, and low libido.
Okay. Although these findings show that cannabis may help alleviate menopause-related symptoms, the study has several limitations to consider. As most participants are white, the result from the study may not be generalized as evidence suggesting that race and ethnicity significantly impact menopause symptom presentation.
They say, for instance, Black individuals have a higher risk of vasomotor symptoms, and Hispanic individuals have a greater risk of mood changes than white individuals. Who knows? Also, the author suggests that findings from this survey study, rely exclusively on self-report and may have been impacted by self-report bias and inaccurate recall.
Okay. Well,
there you go.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Cannabis for menopause.
I think it's great. I think it's wonderful. Yeah. Cannabis for everything.
Yeah, yeah.
I do know people that use it to alleviate their symptoms. Absolutely, I do.
Well, you look at the numbers that were there.
Yeah.
There was a lot of numbers talking about that,
Yeah.
for that.
92% of the participants have used cannabis at some point in time.
Yeah. Exactly.
Over 80% use it at least once a month.
Yeah.
Okay.
And look at the age. The age brackets that those people would be in. So.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. On to our next story. We're talking about the CBDs and things like that and helping people. Here we go on our next headline here from Hong Kong. Because in Hong Kong, they banned cannabis compound CBD in February with up to 7-year jail term for possession. That matches heroin and cocaine. Kelly, 7 years for CBD. What the?
They've actually added the cannabis to the cannabis compound to a criminalized list of drugs, including heroin and cocaine, Al.
Yeah, exactly. We're hearing so much about what's going on over there in some of the countries, and Thailand and stuff. Things are getting better, and then we read something like this: that Hong Kong are going to put people in jail for CBD.
For CBD for 7 years.
What the? Wow. Let's see. Hong Kong will ban cannabidiol. Oh, you mentioned that. The government announced on Thursday that the legislative amendment would be brought to the Legislative Council next Wednesday. The ban, which will see the addition of CBD to the Dangerous Drug Ordinance, will come into effect on February the 1st next year. CBD will join over 200 substances listed in the ordinance, among them fentanyl, cocaine, heroin, ketamine, and methamphetamine.
The plant is not the same as those. I think I know why, Al. I think it's because China and Hong Kong and Russia are so closely related, and we just had that big incident with Brittany Griner over there. And so maybe they're just following suit, saying, you know what, you can't come in our country with it either. And maybe that's why you're going to go to jail right away. Could be. Now, of course, CBD is not psychoactive. Authorities say it is inseparable from THC. And of course, referring to that as the compound that gets you high. And they're saying it's the same thing. And that's illegal in Hong Kong. Supporters of CBD have argued that the small amount of THC found in CBD products would not be sufficient to produce its associated effects.
The government has also said CBD can decompose and be converted into THC. Yes, that's what it says. With its criminalization, the trafficking and manufacturing of CBD will be subject to a maximum penalty of life imprisonment and a $5 million fine in Hong Kong money. Possession and consumption of CBD will be subject up to 7 years of imprisonment and a $1 million fine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my good golly.
So if you're growing a cannabis CBD plant, are you subject to a maximum penalty of life in jail?
Yes, I think so.
That's what I see.
I think that's what it comes down to. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
What?
Wow. Okay, so the Narcotics Division of the Security Bureau consulted representatives from the medical, social welfare, and commercial sectors on the proposed ban in June, with a majority supportive of the prohibition.
Yeah. Separately, the government invited industry stakeholders to provide written submissions. Among those received were suggestions that CBD products be allowed for the use for medical professionals and doubts on the scientific research on which the case for controlling CBD is based, according to the government documents.
Of course, CBD is one of over 100 compounds found in the cannabis plant. The literature on its effects has been mixed. Some users and businesses boast its ability to alleviate everything from anxiety to sore muscles to eczema, while others attribute any benefits to a placebo effect. Oh my.
Yeah. Oh my. In recent years, CBD products have gained popularity in Hong Kong, with themed cafes and bars offering CBD-infused foods and drinks. Physical shops and online stores have also popped up, selling CBD oils, gummy bears, moistures, and other products. Those people are all now facing life in jail or shut down.
Every one of them. Every one of them.
Look at that. The officers standing there with this product.
All of that enterprise, all of those people's businesses.
Yeah. It says that Hong Kong began cracking down on CBD sellers last November, with over 30,000 CBD products suspected of containing THC seized.
Total of 34 people have been arrested over suspected offenses related to CBD products, including trafficking of dangerous drugs and possession of dangerous drugs. That's according to statistics from July. No charges have been laid against them, with all released on bail pending further investigation.
Yeah, you know what they're doing? They're also going to go around and put out boxes, CBD boxes, where people can put their CBD in. Authorities on Thursday, the disposable boxes will be placed in selected government premises to facilitate disposal of CBD products.
Wow. That feels weird to me.
Draconian.
Like worse than that. Like, yeah, absolutely. Like a movie, like a movie that you would see.
It sounds like there's a whole, it's sort of like our lounge industry. There was a whole industry there of vapor lounges in Ontario, and then legalization came and they all left. Well, it sounds like in Hong Kong there's a whole industry going on of CBD cafes and everything, and gone.
That's
They
it.
have to shut it all down.
That's it.
Yeah.
All those people that made products, that created their brands, and wanted to. And think about not only that. I'm not even going to the part where people are benefiting from the products. The people that are, because you can't get a prescription over there, right? You can't. They don't believe in medical cannabis,
be illegal.
Of course. So anybody that has been using these products over the past however long they've been around, they're going to lose now. They don't get to have their products. because they're going to get everything's going to get shut down and given into this
Exactly.
these boxes. Oh.
Yep. All righty. Just not right.
Now I'm going to be sad for the whole day, Al. This mushy moment better make me happy.
Let's find out. Let's find out. All right, time for the mushy moment. Let's hope it puts a smile on your face, because after that story, back-to-back sad stories, not good. All right, here we go. According to CBC, a Nova Scotia company is launching clinical trial to examine magic mushrooms as treatment for PTSD.
About an hour outside Halifax, tucked away behind the Hants Community Hospital in Windsor, Nova Scotia, workers in a small facility are growing their own magic mushrooms and synthesizing what makes the magic, the psilocybin.
Its operators, Alexics Life Sciences, are also in the midst of a province's first clinical trial using psychoactive substance psilocybin, something researchers hope will demonstrate the safeness and efficacy of using it to treat PTSD.
Saying we're really excited about seeing the data that comes out of this and the effects it's going to have on PTSD. I really think it could give people the big reset that they need to move forward in life, says David James, who's the Chief Science Officer for Hewlett-Senex, which is funding and conducting the trial.
Yeah, James says that 1,500 people have applied from all over the world to be part of this study, which shows the huge demand for effective psychological treatments. Only 20 were chosen for the study, and the company plans to share its results with Health Canada. 1,500 people from around the world want to be this.
And only 20 could be chosen.
Yeah.
Chosen 20.
Exactly. That's good news. It's good news that there's that much interest from around the world on the study. It's unfortunately only 20 people could participate in it, though.
But that's data right there.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Proof right there.
Is.
Help.
Help.
Now we're hoping that the data that we receive from this critical clinical trial is efficacious. I never get that word right. Enough to show all Canada that it does work, it's safe, and hopefully move the sector forward to help more people.
Recent studies have identified the therapeutic benefits of psychedelics, such as psilocybin, LSD, and MDMA, also known as ecstasy, to treat PTSD, depression, and addiction.
Individuals with PTSD often show increased reactivity in the amygdala. That's part of the brain that connects to memory and emotions, and the activity may make it harder to process traumatic memories.
Some research has shown that psilocybin, the psychedelic compound found in magic mushrooms, can reduce anxiety in the amygdala. Those one of those words. When people respond to threats, this means patients with PTSD could reduce anxiety and inappropriate responses by taking it. Other healthcare practitioners say more research is needed, though.
Such a win. Health Canada notes research is continuing, but there are no approved therapeutic psilocybin products, and also warns of the risks by saying, for individuals predisposed to or with existing psychiatric conditions, there may be an elevated risk of side effects. This association is still being evaluated. That's a really good thing to say. That's actually very important.
The trial, which began earlier this month and is scheduled to wrap up in March of 2023, involves administering a synthesized version of psilocybin. How come they don't use the real stuff? To 20 patients. The group is made up of doctors, therapists, veterans, and first responders, all diagnosed with PTSD. All people that are looked up to in the community, too.
Absolutely. And that's probably why they were chosen out of the 1,500. The trial permits participants to take psilocybin, which is considered an illegal substance under the Controlled Drugs and Substances Act, in a safe and supervised setting.
The patients will initially take a 10 milligram dose known as microdose. They'll come back in a week later and take a macro dose of 25 milligrams.
Okay. Typically, a macro dose, often called a hero dose by those in the psychedelic community, means consuming 5 grams of mushrooms or more and feeling the effects for 5 to 8 hours. These effects include seeing, hearing, or feeling things that they are not there. Some may also experience anxiety, fear, nausea, and muscle twitches accompanied with increased heart rate and blood pressure.
They say 25 milligrams, that's enough to kind of do what we're hoping to do, which is kind of a whole mental reset for PTSD, according to James, who has a PSD in chemistry. There's your dosage chart.
Yeah, I like that.
Low, high, hero.
I like that.
Though none of the trial participants were available to speak on the subject, Don Hunter, a senior vice president of business development for the company, says he experienced psilocybin treatment this past summer.
Oh, and after months of research and years of trying other PTSD treatments, Hunter made the choice to consume psilocybin tea at a facility in Costa Rica. Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Yep. The hallucinogenic effect made him feel like he was literally digging through his trauma and blocked thoughts. He says, I was chipping through a wall, but still didn't know where I was going. And he describing what he felt like to be a psilocybin trip.
Ooh. Now, eventually, after hours of digging, he says he felt as though he had emerged on the other side of the wall and was able to stand face to face with thoughts he had purposefully repressed.
Yeah.
Huh?
Go read on what he says.
He says, I don't want to say this is a silver bullet because I do believe there is a need to further your treatment. The big thing is, besides really changing my mindset and being reactionary, it was also allowed me to have a different mindset when it came to listening to others and being more compassionate with others.
Yeah, we need more of that out there. Nurse Brenda Perks will help guide trial participants through the psychedelic experience. She says bad experiences are often dependent on the environment and what form of psilocybin is taken.
Wow. She says recreational trips that are unguided and unsupported, you don't know what you're taking. You don't know what strain you're taking. Different strains have different strengths. In this setting, we eliminate the fears of the bad trips, so to speak, because you're guided. It's all in a controlled setting, said Perks, who's been a nurse in varying medical settings for 35 years.
Yep. Psilocybinus, I don't know what that is the most common type of magic mushroom. There you go. But there are nearly 100 different strains. She said this trial will be Nova Scotia's formal introduction to the therapeutic effects of psychedelics. She hopes such research will eventually lead to their legalization. Yeah.
Saying by doing the trials, we're hoping to remove the fears and anxieties around so-called psychedelic drugs. That's what we're hoping to gain is more support around that so we can remove some old ways of thinking around psychedelics.
And there you go. Yeah. Well, you know, I thought that was a good story.
Yeah.
To help out on things going
great.
in. We got some research being done right here in good old Canada on psychedelics.
Important.
And
really important.
Yeah, which is very important. Exactly.
Awesome.
Exactly. Well, you know, Rev Kelly, there was something I was to discuss at the very beginning of the broadcast, and I didn't do it.
Okay.
I didn't read my notes beforehand.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. And what it is that we've got our winner for the yield contest.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. Yeah. I thought, I got partway through the broadcast, and oh crap, forgot to mention that, eh?
Winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah. Well, she could get a chicken dinner because she's not far from the chicken store.
That's amazing.
So there was multiple guesses, anywhere from I'm gonna say 7.5 grams to 1.5 pounds. Yeah, 200
Okay.
grams was in there.
Ooh.
Yeah. So the total weight
Yeah.
from the plant, as you know, it went out in August. Just a little wee one like that. Eh?
Right.
I got 15 grams off of it.
Oh.
Yeah, half an ounce. Yeah. I
Good
didn't get the 200
job.
grams with 1.5 pounds. Some people thought I might get, but I got 15 grams. So our closest number was 7.5 grams, and that was Debbie Smits, 420 Deb of
Congratulations.
Campbellford. She knows lots about PACE. I can tell you, she used to participate in all types of PACE events, and I used to go to her house, especially on Fridays for the 420 every day before I moved out of Campbellford. So I know Deb. Obviously, I will get her prizes to her, which include the book Rebirth from Ashley Michaud.
Yeah.
And she is the host of our Sunday's psychedelic show, Integration Station.
Yes.
We also got some stuff from some hand and foot salve from Dr. Buck. It's all tested right there on the back. You can see the QR code.
Wow.
You can go in and see the test results. All the ingredients are listed on there. So there's a couple of those. There's some, there we go. Some oil slick balls.
Wow.
Of course, we can't forget about the PACE coffee mug.
Right.
I think Deb might even have one of these or two around. She doesn't know yet. I haven't announced it publicly. This is the first time I've announced it.
Wow.
And she's going to get a case of these jars.
Wow.
Right? Storage jars.
Yeah. Those are beautiful.
Oh, did you hear that pop?
Yep. Pop.
Pop. Good and sealed.
Yep.
Right?
Wow. Congratulations, Deb.
Yes. Congratulations, Deb. I will send you a text message and let you know that you won. And I'll be into Campbellford soon, and I will drop them off. So there you go.
15 grams.
Yep, 15 grams off that little plant. It went out, with like 2 sets of leaves on it.
Yeah.
In the middle of August. So
there you go. 15 grams.
I just walked over and I wrapped my hand around its thing and pulled it up. Yeah.
I can't wait to hear what it's like to consume.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
That's it. Have a great day. Have a great week.
All
See you next week for Halloween.
That's right. That's our Reefer report from the Legacy420.com news desk on Croptober the 24th. I'd like to say thank you to everybody. Legacy420, BMA, hydroponics.com, as well as the Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. And don't forget to educate, medicate, and not incarcerate. You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
BMA Hydroponics has everything you need to succeed. Visit our hydroponics superstore at 404 Maitland Drive in Belleville, and we'll show you how to grow your own quality cannabis for pennies per gram. We're open Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Thursdays and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Call 613-967-9888. BMA Hydroponics. It's worth the drive.
The only way to go.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
Did you know that the Pace Radio Network isn't just a radio network? That's right, because most but not all of our programming is now done via video and is then podcasted at paceradio.net. So if you want to watch our programming, you'll find us on the Pace Radio Network's Facebook page, plus the show's own page, and you'll find us live on the network's YouTube channel. And don't forget, you can find it all, video and audio, at paceradio.net.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.